Hey guys, we'll get going here in a few seconds. So if you want to take a second, get some water and a notepad or whatever. All right. I'm Todd. I'm with Project 9 Life, and welcome to tonight's episode of Personal Development Hacks. Tonight we're going to be covering kind of a wide array of different stuff, but it's mainly just about mindset. Just making sure that you're in the right mindset to achieve what you're setting out to, not just set another goal and then stop by April 1st. So just remember that you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something and build a new model makes the existing model obsolete. So kind of the crux of that is just, we've talked about it. You're going to create a new version of yourself. You're going to, establish a new you. And with that, you have to just get rid of what was and just don't fight what's out there already. Deal with it, but you're going to create a new model of yourself. So, and then just ultimately kind of make a decision in your own mind to make it happen, shock the world, shock yourself. That's the thing that I've found throughout doing all this. And, for the past, whatever it's been, 4 or 5 years, but it is just that shock of, if you come up with a plan and you've identified it correctly, is just making sure that you're going through and hitting all those different things, and you get shocked. You're all of a sudden, it's like you're making progress and you're stepping up the ladder and the floor's coming with you, and it's, you're creating a new you. The mission, the goal, and everything that you're setting out on, the new path that you're on, it's personal. It's personal to you because you've taken the time to identify something that's going to have an impact on your life for the rest of your life, and that you can do for the rest of your life. And yes, you've involved your why, be it, significant other, or kids, or whatever that burning why is that gets you to can't fail, or can't learn from this doing it. It is personal. It takes a lot to start over. I'm not gonna, I have no idea where you guys are at in life or how close or far you are from living your best life. But for a lot of people, it's about starting over and starting new with a new outlook and a new mindset on stuff. But you owe it to yourself to become everything you've ever dreamed of. Be brave. Just trust the magic of new beginnings. I guess that's the best way to say it, is just, this is something that is brand new to you guys. And, you may have done stuff before, didn't work, and you're feeling that, kind of just Groundhog's Day of day after day, and you're living the status quo, and you're ready for something new. You have to embrace this new beginning, this new outlook, and this new way of going about getting to where you ultimately foresee and want your life to be. And that's just the fact of it, is that as you go through and identify your goals and whys and why nots, and you start making your progress, just look at it as a new beginning. It's tomorrow is day one of the new version of yourself. It's your new beginning. It doesn't matter how old you are. You're never too late to start, either start over, start again, start something new, um, do something that you had wanted to before, but you weren't successful with it then, and you want to give it another go, but with a different mindset. Yeah, it's brand new. We all know that, especially with technology, it's leaps and bounds above where it was even a couple years ago. So there's all sorts of opportunities out there to, if you embrace it, to be able to move yourself on that path towards, climbing the ladder, and you just keep going and the floor is coming with you. So that's something that, you just gotta, there's no other way to say it. You have to embrace the fact that up until you decide that you're doing something different, that was the old model. Starting tomorrow or Friday or whenever you start, but soon, that's the new model. And you're not going to go back. You're only moving forward from now. So, all right. So, got a few things just to cover. It's a short little list of 8 things. But we all have a choice to remodel ourselves, be it with a job, be it with your physical self, be it with the relationships with your significant other, your kids, your family, whatever. We all have that chance to hit the pause button and remodel ourselves. And it takes a lot to go into it. Like I've said, the program that we've got laid out, it's very simple to go through the program, but the hard work starts on day one, where the actions, now you got to start taking them. If it's health, then you got to start walking. That's hard work. If it's wealth, well, what are you going to do? Is it something to where you're going to try something completely different, something that you're passionate about? Or is it going to be finding additional streams of revenue, things that you can put in place now that are going to pay off month after month after month for as long as you're kicking? If it's relationships, is it, instead of a dinner out once every couple months, is it like once a month or once every couple weeks? Or maybe it's not even dinner. Maybe it's, your significant other likes going for walks or goes for bike rides, and you're spending that time with them as quality time where you can talk and you can just enjoy that person that you have decided that you want to be with. The other, number 2, that was 1. Number 2, don't stand on your resources, use them correctly. So everything that everyone in this world needs is available, but you can't stand on them. You can't just rely on the fact that, X, Y, and Z person did it, so I can just do it. But you can use those resources. Most of the most successful people out there, guys, they will be the first people that you will see that will basically give you a blueprint. Like, this is how I did it. That's what I'm doing. I mean, this company, and with, inspiring others to do what inspires them, it's all based on my personal experience. And I'm sharing that with you guys because it did work for me. Is it going to work for everyone? No, but I'm under no illusion that it's going to. But even if there's just one thing that you can latch onto to say, okay, that makes sense, then awesome. Then take that, incorporate it, utilize it as a resource, and do with it what you will. But just biggest one, guys, is just having the proper mindset to utilize what people have been successful with in the past and using those resources. Don't just copy, right? Like we don't copy, we don't just plagiarize or anything like that. In life, I mean, you obviously, there's nothing that says that you can't plagiarize someone's life and have the same level of success. That's fine. But with that, just use those resources that work for you personally, because not everything that everyone is going to tell you out there is going to work for you. Okay. That was number 2. Number 3, we are what we think, and constantly consume. So if you think that your life is going fine and the status quo is fine, and you're consuming content that says, hey, you're doing fine, then that's who you're going to be. If your mindset is, I'm constantly looking to level up, I'm constantly looking to improve, to get, bigger, better, whatever it is, a more loving parent and significant other, or I'm going to be fit, or I'm going to attain wealth so that my kids can do what they want, stuff like that. If that's your mindset and that's what you're thinking, then consume content that speaks to that. Don't do that and then go watch Instagram all night, or, be thinking that and then sit down and just spend 3 or 4 hours in front of the TV all night. You got to take action on it. So you're not just consuming, because let's face it, guys, most of social media that you guys see out there, like Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, is other people doing things that majority of people in the world are looking at going, that would be cool to do. But what if you were the person that's like, I want to be like that guy? And it's because that's what you thought, and you consumed enough information and material to get you to that next level. Okay. So that was number 3. Number 4, temporary pleasure leads to a lifetime of regret. So that's a tough one in today's society, especially here in the US, where, it's the, I want it now. I want to lose weight, so I'm going to take these pills, or I'm going to do whatever, or, accumulating wealth. And you're like, I've heard some stuff about Bitcoin or whatever ultimately it is. That temporary pleasure, ultimately you're going to look back on when you get a little bit later in life and go, God, what was I doing? You either lost weight because you took some medicine or something, but you were inactive. You remained inactive. You didn't want to pay for the pills anymore. And there's a bottom to that where you have to supplement any dietary things that you're doing with activity. With wealth, I mean, invest in things or do things that are proven. People and things that they've shown can work. They're willing to show you the ropes. It's within the scope of your time, your effort, your talents, and your passion. I'll be the first to tell you, like, you want to find something that you're passionate about, something within this health, wealth, or relationships. you got to find what you're passionate about, because you're going to have passions in all three of those. Everyone wants to be fit or in shape. Everyone wants to be wealthy, and everyone wants the, best significant other and the best kids and the best relationships and all this stuff. But if that's what you want, you can't get there temporarily, because you're going to regret it looking back on it. If you wanted to get that right now, it takes work, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes dedication, and most importantly, it takes consistency. All right, that was number 4. So number 5, it's better to keep your plans to yourself. Most people in the world want to use you. It's kind of a bad thing to say, and you might be sitting there looking at watching this and going, wow, not my friends or not the people that I know. It happens more often than you think, and it's usually by someone that's what you thought was closest to you, and someone that you thought there is absolutely no way that they would do anything with this. But because what you're going for and you're striving for, and that achievement in living your best life, it is personal to you, not to anyone else. You can involve your direct family, absolutely, because they're probably some part of your why, and why it's important to you. But everyone else, just keep your head down, do what you do. Don't share with them that, you're wanting to get this wealth so that, your kids can do what they want when they get out of college, or that you're trying to get fit so that you can go on walks on the beach when you're 80 years old or whatever. If it's not in them to do the same thing, there's a possibility that they'll use you for the either information, or they'll use you for their own self-interest or whatever. Okay. So just keep it private, keep it personal, no matter what it is. All right. All right. That was 5, 6. The circle of life means leaving a legacy, to pass along. And that's what I think the majority of us out there, we want to strive for, is we want to have something that we can stand on. People that remember the memories that we created with them, and the drive and dedication. And if your kids are looking, going, God, Dad's always doing something, that'll get into them. Trust me. As your kids get older, I don't know how old they are, but I'm sure some of you have already realized it, is those things that you taught them. And it's not just through words, but by your actions and who you are. That is part of your legacy. And you want to pass that along to your kids. I mean, we all have basically the same goal. Those of us with kids, is we want our kids to live better lives than we led. With whatever they choose to do. But we just want each generation to keep progressing, keep getting better and higher, and learn from that, and take that as their legacy so that they can pass it along. So that's something to where, be mindful of what you're doing and why you're doing it, because your kids, friends, family, you might not think so, but they're watching, right? All right. That was 6-7. Choices that were made in anger can't be undone. So we talked about this I guess it was last Thursday, about how you have to remain calm no matter what's going on around you, and just take a beat, take that pause to think about your reaction and your response, not your reaction. Because if you make a decision because you're angry, you can't undo it. You can't. It's in all sorts of different avenues, because you're not thinking with this. You're just reacting to a situation, and you can get yourself in a huge amount of trouble. Obviously there's legal problems, there could be, but there's, relationship problems or work problems or whatever, all because of a decision that you made when you were angry. And people will respect and appreciate the fact if something comes up and you feel it get under your skin and you feel that you want to react, and someone looks at you for, okay, it's your turn to talk. People will respect the fact if you say something like, look, I'm going to need a second just to digest what was occurring or said or happened or whatever. And then I'll be happy to speak to it. And then just, if you got to get up and go outside the room for a couple minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, to get yourself in a space to where you can understand what was going on, be it said, done, mentioned, whatever, and then come back so you can give a response, not a reaction. So that's kind of the crux of that. All right, number 8. In the end, let's face it, there's a termination date for all of us on the horizon out there. You'll go and your words will stay. So like we've talked about, it's that legacy and the lessons that you've taught, not just through words, but through actions and through relationships, and having those discussions, and the situations that you put your friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, whatever, the things that you said are what stays long after we're gone. God, I still quote the thing from Edison, and he's been gone for a long time, about the light bulbs, right? Never failed once, just found 1,000 different ways not to make a light bulb. But that was something from him that long after he's gone, people still reference. And it's because of the importance and just the awareness of what he was trying to say, in terms of, we never fail, we just learn. So that's a key one. All right, so about 25 minutes in, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Do you ever see the it was the picture of Michael Phelps and Lochte, and it was one where Phelps came back and won like by a hair at the very end of the race. And there was a famous picture of the two of them swimming side by side, and Phelps is looking forward and Lochte is looking at him. And the quote that went with it is, losers focus on winners and winners focus on winning. So it was just it was a cool photo, and it echoes that comment very, very appropriately, that if you're paying attention to what other people are doing, you're not focused on yourself, and you're not focused on what you're doing. What everyone else is doing does not impact you. It doesn't matter. Just focus on you and your path and what you're doing to level up and to keep getting better and getting better and getting better, and making progress each and every single day. Okay. As always, guys, if you want more information about this, just email us down below. It's scrolling right there. info@project9life.com. Just put get started in the subject line, and then indicate Venmo or credit card. The Get Started program is $297. You get the worksheet, you get a video that'll walk you through the entire thing. So if you're kind of a self-starter, go-getter, self-driven type of individual, that you just want a little bit of guidance, but not necessarily the involvement of like an 8-week course or a year-long course or something like that, is a great alternative, guys. The video's yours, the worksheet's yours. You can save them to your desktop, watch them as often as you want. And it's a great tool to have, just to be able to take what we've talked about, take the worksheet and go through it diligently, and then just get going. I mean, that's the most important step, is the first one, right? You gotta start somewhere, sometime. Stop waiting. Today is as good a day as any day out there to just get going. All right. All right. With that, and being consistent and creating new habits and new routines in your life, and it doesn't matter what you're talking about, health, wealth, or relationships, but a real simple rule of thumb to follow is, Brandon Dawson said it but it's the 90-90-10 rule. So if you focus on one thing for 90 minutes a day, 90 days in a row, okay, you'd be amazed what you're going to accomplish. It doesn't have to be, a project at work that's got a deadline, or if it's, a workout routine or whatever. But if you can just pick one thing within your goals, or that is your goal, or, just something to prove that you can do it, just pick one thing, do it for 90 minutes a day, and do it for 90 days in a row. And that establishes a new you. It's not it's not what you're doing anymore, but it's who you are at that point. And that's what we're all trying to get to, is, if we're trying to establish a new us, so that it's not, hey, you're losing weight, or hey, you're really going at it at work, or, what's this other thing you've got going on, or, you and your wife are always, you're gone a couple nights a week or whatever. And people look at that as what you're doing. You'll know you've made that transition because they'll stop asking you about it. That's when you know it's not what you're doing, it's who you are. All right. All right. So just a couple more things here. Just some kind of quick reminders here. So if you look at people and these are your reactions, just keep it to yourself. And but just think about, like, as you're going through whatever you're going to go through, think about how other people have looked at you and will look at you as you make your progress. All right. So currently, if you're broke, that must mean that you're lazy, right? That's their view of you, not your view of yourself, obviously. You could be working your butt off just in a job that isn't giving you the rewards for the effort and the talent that you're bringing to it. But an outsider who doesn't know any difference, they see people that are broke and they think, oh, they're lazy. Okay. Vice versa. If you're rich, they'll say, well, you're greedy. God, what was it? Gordon Gekko in Wall Street. Greed is good. Money makes life easier. It just does. You don't have to worry about stuff as much on a day to day. If you have something happens to the house or insurance, or you got deductible, whatever, you got a sizable expense, you don't have to worry about it. It's not about greed. It's about establishing wealth, and it has nothing to do with doing bad by people. That's what greed is, right? Greed is you get better while everyone else gets worse. This is like you're establishing wealth and it's making your family it puts them in a better position. It gives you more opportunities to meet and see other people. What's the old adage? Like, if you want to be a millionaire, first thing you need to do is start hanging out with millionaires. And it's because you get to meet people that they all come from all different walks of life. And very few people that you meet and you get to talk to, and they're just real people. They just found a different way. It's not about greed. It's just about establishing wealth. So if that's your thing, just keep in mind, like, you're gonna have people in your life that are gonna say, oh, you must be greedy. Okay. If you're overweight, you're disgusting. Right? That's what other people are going to view you as. They don't know if you've got like a chemical imbalance or what. They don't. It doesn't. They don't even ask that question. They just see overweight and they think, well, you're disgusting. That's not your self view. This could be your day one of your journey towards getting fit, and those looks and people commenting to other people that are out of your earshot, those will stop. And it's not that you're sharing with them, it's just you're doing and you're focused on what you're doing. At the same time, if you're fit, well, you must be obsessed, right? Like, if you are fit, then people will look at you and say, oh, wow, he's obsessed or she's obsessed, and spending all this time in they've got to spend 3 hours a day in the gym, and they're obsessed with, like, having this figure, or that being in shape or muscular or whatever. But it has nothing to do with obsession. It has to do with dedication and consistency. And there's very few people out there that will ever tell you, now, if you're going for like a Mr. Olympia or something, yeah, you're going to spend a lot of time in the gym. But short of that, no physical trainer is gonna grab you, or no workout, regimen that you see posted online or anything is gonna be like, go to the gym from noon till 3 every day. So it's not obsession, it's consistency and it's dedication. All right. If you're married, well, you must be boring, right? Like they look at it as, other people will look at it as you've settled into your life, your married life, um, you're with the same person, same schedule all the time. That's got to be boring. Um, but it doesn't have to be. If you are really in a loving, sharing, co-supportive relationship, it's the greatest thing in the world. It can be whatever you make it to be. This is just, keep in mind, this is just outsiders' view of these stereotypes, basically, of these types of people. At the same time, if you're single, well, sex must not matter that much to them. Really? Um, they don't necessarily go like hand in hand. If you're single, that just means you haven't met a partner in crime, or you haven't met that person that makes you want to level up your game. Not because they're up here and you're down here, but it's just, you could be basically a perfect equal, but you constantly, both of you are pushing to consistently just level up your life, be it personal, your life, be it professional, your, vacations or whatever. You're constantly trying to do better. So if you're single, that and sex are two very different things. But again, outsiders look at it and say, 38 and single or whatever, oh, wow, they must lead this kind of life. But again, focus on you, what's important to you, and what you want to do. All right. People always have something to point out. So this is a time just to think about it and think, do you look at other people and automatically make assumptions about them personality, or their likes and dislikes, or their work ethic, or something based on what you're seeing or experience with them? And that's when you gotta get out of that habit for sure. So, like we were talking about with it doesn't matter what it is, if it's health, wealth, or relationships. Don't look at it as like you're getting fit, or you're looking at additional streams of income or anything like that. Think of it as art, right? You're creating and molding your future you. But with consistency and dedication, that's where it's like, you got to make sure that, if that's what you're going after and you're passionate about making it happen, there's going to be times where you stay up late, you get up early, and then when you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, give everything to that art. If you're not healthy right now and your goal is to get fit, when you're doing that, you got to give everything to molding and sculpting the future you. You know, if you're employed in a job that's, you know, you're not passionate about, or you don't enjoy, or, um, you know, there's a multitude of reasons. You're not paid enough. You're not appreciated enough. You're too talented for the position you're in. The job has become mundane. And that's where you're going is I've got to do either something different for work, or I've got to do something additional for work, you know, to create another income stream. You got to give everything to that art, no matter what it is. If it's relationship with your spouse and your kids or whatever, you got to give everything to them. It's not a toe in the water thing. Like, jump in. There's going to be spots that you don't know, and that's fine. But if you're not there 100%, you're not going to get the results that you want. All right. All right. So, like we had talked about with, as you guys start on your path, whatever your goal is, whatever your why is, as you start on this journey, remember there's three types of people that you're going to run into, right? There's the joiners, so they're going to support you, and they're going to do something with their own life to either join you on the same or similar path, or they're going to get motivated and inspired by the fact that you're getting fit, and they're going to be like, well, you know, if you're doing this, I'm going to do something with our relationship to, you know, create us together in this, and both of you will start to elevate. There's going to be the supporters, your cheerleaders. Those are the people that they're going to support you. They're going to cheer you on. They're going to want nothing but the best for you. They're just not going to join you in anything. They're, whatever their life is, either be it with you, or if it's a friend and they got their own separate lives, it doesn't matter. We all need cheerleaders to support and help hold us accountable to some stuff, depending on, you know, what they see you doing. Not that you've shared it, but what they've seen you doing. They're going to support you in it. They're just not going to join you. And then there's, unfortunately, your detractors. Those are the people that, as you go up that ladder, they're going to try and pull you back down the ladder. You know, if it's job, relationship, fitness, whatever, they're the ones that are going to be like, you need to stay here because here's the status quo. This is what we've done. This is who we are. We're staying right here, and you're coming back here with us. So with that said, biggest thing, you got to stop trying to drag people to the next level with you. If they don't want to join, then you need to just look at, are they a cheerleader to support, or are they a detractor trying to drag me down? But you're not going to drag anyone that doesn't have their inspiration figured out. You're not going to drag them with you. If your goal is fitness and your significant other, they are either already fit, or they just, it doesn't inspire them. It doesn't do anything for them. You're not going to drag them out and say, I'm going for a walk today. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Because they're going to end up resenting you for making them do something that they don't have any desire or passion to improve in that area. Okay. some people just don't want to level up like you do. And that's really what it's all about, right? Is like we want to level up our lives, um, and once we get to that first level and every level thereafter, we don't want to go back. That's the problem with resolutions, right? Um, 85% give up in 6 weeks, 99% are done by April 1st. What started out as a goal of, I want to lose 10 pounds, the next January comes around, now it's 15 pounds because they didn't hit their goal and they spent the next 9 months just doing whatever, age, metabolism, whatever comes with them. Now it's like, now you got to lose more weight. So you're actually not leveling up, you're leveling down. And we don't want to do that. That's why I've talked about, like, instead of losing a set pounds or fitting into a certain suit or something like that, just focus on getting fit, because that is going to last you a lifetime. Weight loss will come with it. If you're eating a reasonable diet and you're active, and if your goal is fitness, if you're even going for a walk every day. I mean, I did that for a year. I lost 100 pounds in a year. And that's all I did. I just walked, and it went from, started off with like 1.25 miles. And, I got to the point to where it was like 4 miles every single day. And that's all I did. And I ate a reasonable diet and weight just started coming off. So, but I didn't go down. Like, I didn't level down. As I achieved those certain increments, I stayed there, and then I was always looking up, like, okay, what's the next rung? What's the next one? If people don't want to level up in some form of their life, and if they're a detractor, you can leave them. It's okay. You're becoming a new version of yourself. It's not what you do, it's now who you are. Most people were never meant to be in our lives forever. We all probably have friends from, grade school, junior high, high school, college, whatever, early in our careers that we just lost track of and lost touch with. It's okay. You're not doing it intentionally. It's just you're focused on you, what you're doing, and they're not coming with you. All right. Most people, like I said, they're not meant to be there for forever. Most people are truly designed just to be there for a few chapters. Elementary, junior, high, college, whatever. That might be just their chapters. Most kids these days, they find that separation between high school and college as, they grew up with kids that they go to high school with, and all of a sudden they graduate and boom, they spread out, right? Like all over the country, all over the world, all sort of just doing all sorts of different stuff. A lot of times that ended the chapter for a lot of people that could have been great friends in high school. And maybe you stay in touch once in a while, but it's not like it used to be, where every algebra class I had this person or whatever. Okay. But if it is just a few chapters, it's okay. Just surrender and let them go. It happens every single day in the world in general. There's relationships that, through no malfeasance or bad bad ethics or anything like that, that just they go away. It's okay. You've got permission to live your life. Don't live it through someone else, and don't let someone else live it through you. You're focused on you. All right. And keep in mind, by letting them go, you're also inviting more aligned people that are also on the same kind of growth path that you're on. It could be in a different discipline, but you're inviting, by letting them go, you've now got space for people that they are looking for similar things. They want to know what's next. They get to the top of the mountain and they see the next one and they're wondering, okay, well, what can I see from that one? They're not the ones sitting back, in the car back in the parking lot, whatever, 7 miles from you and 3,000 feet lower, because you're growing and up, you're leveling up your life and you're leveling up your person. But you'll align with people that are wanting the same things, different disciplines, but they want a higher level of life and they want to achieve more. And they either are or want to be living their best life. And it's just that this is the way that they're going out and this is how they're going about it. All right. Keep in mind, you can't deny aligned people because you're attached to the past. And ultimately, that's kind of what you're holding on to, is friendships that were, memories that were. We've probably all got friends who, you go out and you meet them for dinner and, you might be 40 years old and they're still telling high school stories. They're not aligned with growth. They are living in the past, and by, you inviting them into your circle of where ultimately you want to be and where you're growing towards, you're not dragging them with you because they're still going to tell high school stories. More aligned people who want more growth, who want to continue to level up their lives in general, they're not going to hang around if you're, constantly hanging out with the person telling stories about 25 years ago and something that happened. They're great memories, but they're just that. They're memories. They're in the past. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a direct conversation or hey, it's not you, it's me, but I've got to do something else. Doesn't have to be anything like that. It's just you're on a different path and you're not dragging them along with you. And so when they call to invite you to stuff or, to go get a drink or go have dinner out or whatever, if you've got other plans or you make other plans, like Gary wants to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and, do X, Y, and Z. And I really don't feel like going and listening to, stories from 1992 anymore. Then just make plans and just be like, Gary, I can't. Spouse and we're going to, we've got a dinner plan, or I've got a networking event, or, I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on, and that's all it has to be. They don't have to know what you're working on. They don't have to know if it's like your work, or if it's a side work, or if it's more cash flow stuff that you're, learning about or figuring out, and wanting to incorporate into your life. But just, you're not going to drag them along, and don't let their attachment to the past put you as living in the past. Like I said, it's not what you are, it's who you are now. And there's a new version that has leveled up their life so that you can achieve living your best life. So, all right, that's all I got for tonight, guys. Hopefully that just got you guys in the right mindset. It's just, there's no time like the present to just get out and start living your life and start achieving. So, hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you guys later.